Yo, what up guys, alright, Gold Chosen Energy, this is day 15 of 2020 and today we are going to talk about fear and how to kill fear by simply living in the now. And with that said, I'm going to just preach it out and just cover what are points that needs to be covered. And with that said, let's get to it. Today as you reach half week and mark that milestone, make sure that paved mile and stone is carved with now. What that's saying is as you reach the half week, which is hump day, like the midweek, like Wednesday, make sure that whatever your mile is, whatever you are at this week, whether you're really fulfilling all your goals, or whether you're hitting your status quo or not, etc. Make sure that this whole week is carved with now, meaning you are in the now, not in the yesterday, not in the future now, but in the now. Many of us live in the future and never walk away from the past and carry with us baggage of failures and fear for the future. And what that's saying is many of us, and that's like literally almost 95% of the whole human race, we always live in the past because we feel like our past defines who we are now, but it has no correlation. It's just the way that we kind of have been trained and conditioned to actually live in the past to kind of make ourselves be in the almost like a victim mode. Just so if we have any failures or if we have any shortcomings, we'll just say, hey, it's because of my past. And we've also been trained to live in the future, to plan ahead and say, hey, I want this to happen. The reason why, because we've just been trained that way, like conditioned that way, just so that we can always have fear of the future, saying, hey, what if I don't make rent? What if my job falls apart? What if I get laid off? What if my wife or husband divorces me? It's all this future planning that we've been trained to kind of plan out, not to help us, even though that's a false pretense to help us, to kind of make us more responsible. Even though being responsible, it does take planning, but it does not mean you have to live in the future, you have to live in the now. So that's literally the reason why many people have fear, because when we have something that is not known yet, we start building fear towards it, like anxiety, and that's how fear actually gets created, because it's just an illusion that we just kind of are trained to believe that it's real because we don't know what it is yet, because we are living in the future or for the future instead of for and in the now. Okay, the missing link and cue to living fearless is living in the now. Like I was just saying, live in the now and you will not have any fear. It's really simple. Moreover, when we live in the now, we have the ability to control since it's in our reach, and therefore we can dismiss fear and failure by not worrying about what's up ahead and forget what failed us in the past. So that's literally the magical trick. Is if we live in the now, it is very simple. It's gonna go cold. If we live in the now, it becomes very simple, because then we have control over not thinking about the past failures, whatever we failed on or whatever failed us, because a lot of times it actually failed us. We didn't fail it. Like schools, for many people it fails them, and many people think that it actually failed school, but it's actually the opposite. School failed them because it was not really resonating with them. Therefore, the people had no interest of studying and learning and getting good grades. It is as simple as that. And Gary Vee is another person that can prove that for us. And as long as we don't worry about the future, then we have no worry. Therefore, we eliminate anxiety and fear. Okay. Furthermore, we have full control of our reality if we just live in the now, regardless of what we have been taught or the state that we are in at this very moment. That is very true. As long as we live in the now, in this reality, we have full control over it, meaning we know what's up ahead, we know what's happening right now, and we can actually change and maneuver that, and it's actually palpable. Otherwise, it is beyond our reach. Therefore, we start to kind of procrastinate, we start to have fear, anxiety, and everything just crashes down. That's the reason why it's so important to live in the very, very second and like live in the now. And no matter what state you are in, you might even be at the worst state of your life, but at least you are in a state where you can actually make a difference by making a change right now. Let's say if you have a job, you go and get a job. No matter what job it is, you'll get a job, or you'll find a way to get income so you won't starve. But you are still in the now where you can make that change. If you're living in the future, you have no control over it. So you're like, oh my God, it's so much fear coming on the way, like on my calendar. There's so much stuff coming up. It's so much. You literally are living with like resistance and you don't even know it. It's like, it's just clear. And yeah, so as long as you are aware that the future is just there to create fear in your life, then you will literally let that go and live in the now to live fearless. Humans have been taught to worry and plan for the future so they can experience continuous fear of worrying about it until that day comes. And if it never comes or something gets in the way, they will be in constant fear of failure regardless of the outcome. Without saying it, it's really trained to live in the past and always remember our failures. We are so much in constant fear that we literally assume that if something doesn't actually happen for us, that means it is our failure. That means we failed. That means it is time for us to just literally crash and burn. So it is so crazy that because of that conditioning, we assume that if something doesn't actually happen for us, the things that we have planned, let's say like a 4-year school, marriage, or anything, that we have actually failed. So it actually backfires in 2 ways. First one is always keeping you in constant fear. And the second one is giving you failure indefinitely without even you having any control over it, because if it doesn't work out, if for any reason, let's say you just decide that you don't want to get married or your job just takes off and you're so busy you don't have time for family, you automatically feel like you failed, or if something else happens. Like it is such a it's like a dynamite. It'll explode on your face no matter what. So even if you are getting to that point and you actually make it, just that the 5, 6, 7, or 10 or 20 years of planning that you're gonna get there, that's enough anxiety to actually kind of kill your entire reality by making you live in control and in fear. Even if you get there, even if you become a doctor, you will still have fear for the rest of your life, because that 20 years of fear, it doesn't go away like that. And if you don't become that, then you have failed. So 20 years you're gonna feel like, oh my god, I've worked all this time and I failed. And that's how a lot of people lose their minds, because of this very simple reason. So in either outcome, we are still getting screwed, because the future and the past is literally getting to us because we feel like we failed because of all the time that we've spent, and we feel like we did not fail if we just get there. But then at the same time, we have so much fear built in our timeline that we cannot kill that because it's just full and stuck. It's literally like saturated with fear. You know, this is a control mechanism that has been set upon us under false pretense to keep us in check and fear during our entire lifespan. Like I was just telling you, like it is something that we have been kind of like raised with, like, hey, plan ahead, go to school, etc., have family. It's all good stuff, but when you really think about it, it's all control, and it's all living in the future. 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 Literally. I know I keep saying that, but it literally is. So it is just literally kind of like a ticking time bomb about to explode as long as you live in the future. Okay. Lastly, fear is control as long as it's unknown and laughable. For the known, living in the now. What that's saying is fear is the control mechanism as long as it is unknown, and once it is known that it is just an illusion and it's just kind of like pre-planned, it's just something that we just create and is being created for us, and it kind of instilled in our lives, in our timelines, then it becomes laughable, because it is literally super laughable as long as you are living in the now, because it is super obvious that it doesn't exist. And that's, again, awareness. And this is my last encouragement for you guys. Stay fearless, soul fam, by living joyously in the moment, free of all past or future. Stay Vibey, much love, already chosen. Okay, what that's saying is, as long as we are living fearless with joy in the moment, free of all past or future, then we will have no fear and we will experience no anxiety or depression or anything else that we are trained to experience as part of being human. That's the word, literally. That's literally word to word. That's part of being human. Like, seriously. And just do me one favor and live in the now without having fear, because fear is only created when it is unknown. But the future is now, and it's all about a now, and it's always now. So don't have fear by living in the now, quiet and simple. And that's it. Much love, peace, and namaste. Stay vibey.